Hi, I'm Tori Balena.
And I'm Tevan Costoso.
And welcome to Inside Iona. Our first story today comes from our very own Mass Comm department. We here at ICTV partnered with WICR, the Ionian, RA Aaron Kutch, and the department to put together an industry panel event. The panel was held in Romita Auditorium on March 26th and featured speakers from all concentrations and companies, from Time Magazine to United Way. Matt Ricker sat down with some of the panelists.
So tell me, for students entering the world of PR, what is one key piece of advice you could give them?
Sure, I'm happy to share. I harp on this all the time, the storytelling piece. So how are we building brands together? How are we building partnerships? How are my intentions being met with yours? How are we finding consensus and sort of moving forward together? I always, in thinking about that, think around year-round partnerships, year-round engagements. I don't like to think about work or any relationships I manage as like one and done. It really is that mutually beneficial connection. And what's that story? And what's personal about it? And how does someone care?
So what is one piece of advice you could give to students entering the world of advertising?
I would give students advice first of all, I would say you have to be really curious. You have to be curious about everything, and I would question everything. So it isn't so much about just breaking into the ad business, but it's so much more. It's about looking at what motivates people to do what they do. Why do we behave the way that we behave? And looking at kind of culture and trends and what's happening in the world today. And I think what's so interesting is when a brand can intersect it with something that's happening in culture to make it meaningful to consumers. And you don't have to work in advertising to have a point of view on that. And so pick something that you're really passionate about or something that's happening in the world today and find brands that are interacting with that, and then have a point of view as to why that exists. And that kind of understanding that gives you permission to kind of, when you go in for an interview, you can start talking about that with them. So I think it's being really curious, being really hungry. I think showing up to events like this tonight and taking advantage of everything that your school has to offer is a key first step, to be honest with you, because now everyone here has just met 5 people who probably on LinkedIn have anywhere between 500 to 2,500 different connections, and you have no idea where that's going to lead you. So continuing to kind of reach out, be curious, be hungry, take advantage of what the school has to offer is the right first step.
Thanks, Matt. Next up, Iona has a new Madam President. Rising Junior Hannah McGowan was recently elected as our next SGA President for the 2018-2019 school year, replacing current SGA President Aaron Kutch, who will be graduating. ICTV's own Julia Fabrizio spoke with Hannah about what's to come.
Hi, my name is Hannah McGowan. I'm a sophomore at Iona College. I'm an adolescent education major with a concentration in biology. Next year I'll serve as the SGA president, and I'm also a campus minister. My mom actually came to Iona, so I've known about Iona since I was a little girl, but when I came on campus for the first time, I really felt like a culture of service, and then I heard Dr. Nair speak, and he spoke about how the world is moved by people that show up, and I thought that was really profound and true, so I decided I wanted to show up, and I wanted to show up at Iona and serve. What Move the World means to me is really moving and changing the world through service. So Iona is connected to Edmund Rice International Network, which is a great way to expand our horizons and really focus on issues not in our community, but in communities all over the world. So really, when you move the world, you show up and you create change that will affect your local community, but also communities all over the world. So I'm involved in a lot of different things on campus. I'm very involved in SGA and campus ministry. I serve as a campus minister this year, and I will next year as well. Currently I serve on the SGA board, and I'll serve as the president next year. Last summer, I was an orientation leader, and I'm also involved in a lot of different clubs on campus. So next year as SGA president, I'd like to continue our work on activity hours and increasing them to Mondays and Wednesdays, and I'd like to also work on increasing accessibility on campus. So that's something that I've noticed this past year, that all the buildings on campus are not completely accessible, and I'd like to increase that for students that don't have the privilege of being able to just walk into any building.
Lastly, a quick thank you to our graduating A-Board, Matt Ricker, Josephine Nguyen, Dave Horvath, and Jill Venditti. We look forward to carrying on the work you started, and we will miss you. For Inside Iona, I'm Tevan Costoso.
And I'm Tori Balena. Thanks for watching.